Okay. Hello.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Sid. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay. All right.
My first question is, when people first meet you, what do they think of you immediately and why? And how would you feel about that and why?
Okay. So how do people feel about me? Well, I think the first thing people notice is that I'm kind of an upbeat person with generally a positive outlook in life, maybe a little extra. um, People, why do they think that? I don't exactly know why they think that. Maybe my mannerisms, maybe because I'm kind of a happy person and I don't know, use of hands, I don't know. But I enjoy little things and people know that. I enjoy the little things and I like to spread joy. Like I'll go to the grocery store and make the cashier laugh or something just to make the day a little bit better because why not, right? Um, I'm empathetic. I'm a good listener. People have told me that, and I kind of seem to give people hope. I'm like, oh, it'll be okay, that kind of thing. So I guess that is how people see me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does it answer all of those questions? Because those were a
Yeah.
lot of questions.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Question 2.
Question 2 is, how do you feel about America related to the rest of the world and why?
Okay. How do I feel about America related to the rest of the world and why? All right. I forgot about that question. Okay. So, America, I think America in general is a good country. It was sort of developed to be a very welcoming country with immigrants. My grandparents were all immigrants. And that is how I perceive it to be. And since we are just so very fortunate here, I think we should help other countries. I believe more so in globalization and that rather than nationalism, because I think if we are such a fortunate country that we should help others that are less fortunate. Um, could you tell me the rest of the question? Or tell me the
And
question
why?
again?
How do you feel about America related to the rest of the world?
Okay. But right now, I'm not really happy with our country, what has happened in the past 4 years. I'm disappointed um, because I have always had the premise that people are basically good-hearted. Okay, everybody has challenges, and I realize that, and that may cause some behaviors. That's okay. However, I'm really disappointed in how selfish people have become. For example, like getting the vaccinations, that people are not allowing the older people and people who work directly with sick people to get it first, that they're kind of saying, well, I need it more. That kind of selfish thing. Opening schools, they're not seeing other people's perspectives. They're just saying, I just want my kid back at school. The teachers are being selfish. No, that's not correct. You have to look at it from several people's perspectives before you just are selfish and you make judgments like that. And these are explanations, not excuses for behaviors. But I'm very disappointed in that. I'm disappointed in how divided the country is right now. It's very black and white instead of being lots of shades of gray, which it has been in the past. I think there's a lack of people listening to each other. So there's a lack of understanding. And I'm especially upset about the increase in the extremism and nationalism, because it kind of goes against everything the country was founded on. Because it was founded on religious freedoms, and you could be yourself here and you're welcoming. And that's not how it is now. I mean, look at the border. Look at the immigrants at the border and how everybody's being treated there. Look at how there was a Muslim ban in the beginning of the last administration. I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And like the people, the extremists, the other thing that really bothers me is the people who did the riots, at the Capitol.
Mm.
They claim they were doing this for rights and freedom and for Trump. But the thing is, anyone who is that devoted to Trump is anything but free. Because, in my opinion, he uses the worst evils. He uses fear, hate, and ignorance to control people. So they are basically being controlled rather than free. And they are being, just like Hitler did, okay, and other dictators in the past. They are being controlled to hate and to fear people who are different from them. And then there is the problem with the spreading of lies and the rejection of science and fact. I mean, I'm a scientist. That just blows me away, okay? I don't get that. I have tried for 4 years. My sister is a hard Republican. And so I've had conversations with her to try to understand her perspective and where she's coming from, as well as some friends who are in the same position. And I see a few points, but I don't understand just the acceptance of all these false facts, or alternative facts, as they are said to be. And especially where it comes to COVID and climate change and the election and all that stuff. I mean, spreading ignorance just causes more fear and more hate. So and I think our country needs an empathetic president who will use the power to help people who are less fortunate, to put us back into like global peace and assisting each other, and try to start unifying the country again. I mean, I think things are a hot mess right now, but I have a lot of hope that they will improve in the future, especially for the younger generations, because they were kind of caught up in this and didn't really have any say in it.
Mm.
Okay, long answer. Don't even know if that was the question anymore.
The third question is, what was the hardest thing for you to experience this past year?
What was the hardest thing for me to experience?
For example, COVID, politics, racial injustice, murder hornets.
Okay, it wasn't murder hornets. I can say that. The hardest thing it was politics. Yeah. That was the hardest thing for me to digest. Now, COVID did not change my actual life that much, because I have a daughter with a chronic illness. And so we very often cannot get out and do stuff. You have to stay home, and just the way life is presented, it wasn't that much different. So for me, I guess I was sort of trained for COVID over the past how many years, because she has been ill. Now, I'm not saying that she can't do anything. No, of course not. But we already had a lot of things in place that we do, and we stay home a lot and just enjoy each other's company a lot. So COVID wasn't that big of a deal. Well, it was for other people. I'm not trying to say it wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal, but it didn't change my life that much. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And politically, I wish it was handled much, much differently, so that it wouldn't have gotten so out of control. My husband knows Anthony Fauci. I used to work at NIH. We know he's a really very intelligent man, and very honest. So I have total belief in what he says. But I know that politics was preventing him from saying certain things that he wanted to say, because you have certain things that, because you are a government employee, if someone says, well, you can't say that, then you're kind of not able to say certain things even though you want to. And you could see it from the interviews with him. He just wanted to say, this is the, but he was giving the data as it was coming to him. So he didn't change his mind. It's just when more data came in, they were able to analyze it and come up with, okay, so this is the situation now. That's how it has to work, because it's a new virus. We don't know a whole lot about it. So you have to go with the data and what it says at different, times. Okay. So what, politics, the whole thing. The election, the whole fraud thing, all the lies, that the acceptance of that, the hate, the poor, and Black Lives Matter. I totally support that, because they don't have equal rights. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. And even with the rioters, if Black people had been the rioters, they wouldn't have been let free. They wouldn't have been allowed to go to Mexico with their work group. It's just there are double standards still.
Mm-hmm.
And that really bothers me. I have a lot of problems with that. So I guess just the general selfish attitudes and how the politics goes along with that was very hard for me to accept. I was very disappointed and frustrated with that. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My
All right.
my next question.
Okay.
You kind of already answered it. So
Okay. What is it?
Version,
what is the next question?
How has politics changed the way you see America this past year?
Yes, I think I have answered that, and you can go back and take out bits and pieces.
Yeah, I think I may
Yeah.
take pieces from that and put it into this question, because
it has been a really big deal. And I think the things that the fact that Trump's control over people, after all the egregious things that have been done during that administration, the fact that it continues still, leaves the country in a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
That is hard for me to understand.
Right.
I try to understand it, and I'm not being successful in understanding, even though I made the effort. and continue to try to make the effort. But I guess people are not in this country. People are not treated equally,
Mm,
and I would like us to move more toward that, and just general understanding and acceptance of differences. I mean, one of the really cool things about living in this area is that it's so culturally diverse, right?
mm,
And so we get to experience lots of things through the eyes of people from other countries or other cultures or stuff. And people in certain areas of the country never see that. So they don't have that understanding. I
mm,
wish, I wish everybody could have those experiences. I think that would make people better in general and the country better.
mhm.
I just think, I think empathy would help a lot too.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Final question is, what do you want to see in the future of America?
What do I want to see?
This
I
could be
want,
this would be a Spark Note version too.
exactly. Okay. What I want to see. Okay. I want to see empathy. I want to see people trying to understand other people's points of view, accepting others, embracing others and their other cultures. Um, I think that's, and believing facts would be really nice. Scientific facts, for example, on climate change. Um, and just not falling into the fear, hatred, ignorance cycle again. Because that has been used. I mean, we have history, right? So we learn about it, so we don't repeat it.
Mhm.
But here we are repeating it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how does people control? They control with fear, hate, and ignorance. They pick a group or groups in this case. And I it just bothers me so much.
Mhm.
I think we just have to come together and just a general understanding of walking in other people's shoes or trying to experience that or seeing another person's point of view and getting together to get something done. Like right now, I'm so disappointed in the elected officials, not the main one.
Mm.
I just mean in general that they aren't able to compromise enough to help people who really need it, those most affected by COVID,
Mhm.
because a lot of these deaths could have been prevented. The illnesses, the economics, you know, the crisis that has resulted from COVID that has affected businesses everywhere,
Mhm.
all this. Now, it couldn't have been totally avoided, but it could be much, much less severe if the administration would have listened to Fauci and others
Mhm.
and the CDC and a few other things and said, okay, everybody, we need to wear masks. We need to do this. It's for everybody, right? I mean, the reason that you wore masks is to protect other people from you if you were sick, right? In the beginning.
Mhm.
So why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't a person wear a mask to protect other people? Because they were
Right.
selfish. I mean,
Mm.
that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Okay. You got to think about other people and not just about yourself because the world is a big place.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's just, and we have so much. There's so much to be grateful for. And if we could share that a little bit with others, fabulous. You
All
know,
right. Mm-hmm.
that's just my opinion.
All right.
Many people do not have this opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. I did not, I don't know if that went how you planned. And if you want to do it again, that's cool.
Okay.
He's like, no, I don't want to do it again.
You can stop recording.
Okay.